Sound check, sound check. Can you guys hear my voice? Please let me know. So let's set up the pages and stuff. Awesome. Oh, go wild. You are also here. Bro, congratulations about marriage. Welcome to the club. Nice. Okay, so let me also get Discord. Yeah, like I was literally just starting to do stream and then I realized my audio is crackling. So I needed to reinstall the drivers and stuff. Now it's good. So let's start the demo bot. How was your month, guys? How is it going? I'm just rushing it with the baby, you know, like last week, literally no sleep. I was curious if I could able to make the live stream today, but hopefully last night I slept awesome. So no complaints at all. So I'm very rested and ready to listen some music from you guys. So let's start. I forget how to start this. Okay, run. Yeah. So the date is 31. I download the faster master, but haven't tested yet. So in the channel, we will have a new mastering video. It's gonna be on Tuesday, and then next video I like to check faster master. Ryan, what's the time there? So let's get some demos. Also, go wild. I'm gonna get your demo manually. So let's grab those first. Also, let's write in here so we can collect. Oh, we already have some demos. Okay, I think we don't need now. Let's launch FL Studio as well. Awesome, guys. Okay, so I need to switch to Motu. And then I need to make it small. Loop back. So let's put wave candy. So yeah, I usually prepare them before the stream, but this time I couldn't. So let's get this and it's span. Good old free version of span. And I think we are all set. Can we start with this banger from ReVine? Okay, it looks good.
Tonight, we'll leave it all behind. Tonight, the moon begin to shine. Just for you and I. We fly together, one special night.
Nice. Nice. Like overall, I think ReVine is already nailing big room. Start to finish, everything looks super sick, super tight. I'm really enjoyed the arrangement. The sound selection is already nice. The drop leads are nice. I think in the first drop, I wanted to hear a little bit more body on the drop lead. The soft leads, they are pretty nice. Like top end is cool. You have all the frequencies that you need, but I will just boost a little bit, like low mid these frequencies. Maybe with rare EQ, maybe with just any EQ, you know. Just give 1 or 2 dB boost a little bit, and then the leads could be so much fat. This is already nice, but just a little touch in my opinion. Yeah, low mid, especially, yes, exactly, yeah.
Let's make it.
So I like this trap beat on the breakdown. Instead of having the snaps, you know, I would have trap snares like, you know that sound.
Yours tonight.
So, dun, 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 chuck, like a trap snare. It could cut through a little bit better because, like in the kick, the vibe is very trappy, but snaps, I don't know. Snaps are not fitting perfectly to the vibe, in my opinion. Just a little opinion, by the way. It's totally producer's choice. There's nothing right or wrong with it, but I would put trap snares. Yeah. Climax is super nice, by the way. Just be careful. Can you check the top end, like all the frequencies, like it hits like almost minus 27 dB. But if you check the drop lead, so drop leads, top end hits like 5 dB less than the break leads. I think break leads are kind of overkilling. So that's why you need to find a balance between them. Volume up the drop leads, I think you shouldn't. Or just volume down the break leads a little bit so they won't be fatter and bigger than your drop. I think just a little, you know, minimal stuff to be careful on. And the other thing, second drop, try to put some twist. Maybe put a rolling bass instead of big room bass, you know. Change something. Just change the vibe a little bit. That would be nice. Volume automation before drop, totally. Also, sometimes I put volume automation to lower whole breakdown section. You know, if I don't want to change any volume balances on the breakdown, and if the breakdown is heavier than the drop, so I just put a global master volume automation, and then I just lower everything 2 dB, 3 dB according to the, you know, drop, and make sure the drop is always hitting the loudest part. And yeah, like the second drop, just try to add a flip if you want to make something out of the box. The current version already working, it's already nice, but I think you can make it better in the second drop because it's like literally the same, I think, as the first drop. Yeah, that's it. Nice track, bro. Nice track. Overall, very nice. Already very nice. Just little details to, I think, make it stand out. Yeah. Let's jump to next track. I think overall it's a very, very promising track. I can say that. I think the drop kick and bass could be tweaked. I think the bass could be bigger. I don't know. So let me check. Is this kick? Is this frequency is the kick or not? I don't know. If I check it like that, I couldn't figure it out. But I think the kick hits a little bit too much. I don't know. Maybe you can check it out. And maybe the bass could be a little bit boosted, so they can be at the same loudness in the low end. I will do that. We just need a little bit deeper bass, in my opinion, in the track.
I dream about things way beyond this atmosphere.
I like this part.
I just wonder if an empty space will make me insane. But for now,
So about the climax part.
I'm here.
I think the super saws need a little bit high end in the top. Yeah, this EQ is, I think, could be fixed. I will boost a little bit of 800, 1K, and especially some top end required for this climax ARP. And the main thing of this, I think the second drop, the acid part is too rushed, you know. After this, I think you only have 8 bar build up. After this ARP, trans ARP, you instantly go to the breakdown and like, there's no breach. I think we need a breach. So maybe you can make the build up 16 bars. You know, in the first part, keep the ARP and make it fade away. Because in this current version, it's like just cutting out the trans ARP, you know. So like we already missed it. It's gone, you know. It's kind of too fast. And we already start the big snare, fast snares. I think we need a little bit more time to build bigger tension. Because this acid like kind of sounds like it came out of nowhere. Because it's happening too rushed. You know, I will just make a 16 bar build up. And then I would have 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar according to the vibe. A gap, you know, a fake drop, a long pre-drop. I will introduce the acid, keep the thing slowly, and then impact the drop. That will change everything, bro. That's so, like, that's a game changer to make, like, if you want to have a hard-hitting drop, you need to have a proper build-up. That's, like, as important as the drop itself. And the other thing, I think the acid, it's too flat, you know, it's kind of too static. Not static, but synthetic. Yeah, I can say that. It's not sounding analog enough, humanized enough. Like maybe you need more accent, maybe you need more automations. I will just work with the acid, both MIDI, both sound. It's a promising track, but now it's all on the little details, you know. You gotta put them together. So nice track, bro. I could listen to the updated version anytime. Okay, let's go to Lucas. I think it's gonna be hard-hitting peak time techno. Oof. personally, I think the kick and bass is amazing. Like it's so gritty, you know, it's well mixed. I like the kick, I like the bass. The flow is perfect. My problem is like maybe first drop is a little bit too long. But other than that, I think the first drop is not catchy. Like the ear candies that you put in the background should be more memorable. I think, especially like when the drop starts, it's not impacting hard. I will start with some, you know, big horn or something like that, and then the scenes, the shots, the ear candy that you put, I think they could, in a composition way, that they could align, sort, you know, in a different variation to get more memorable. Let's see. This melody, like that sound, also the second drop melody. I think it's kind of thin. I will just boost a little bit of low mids of that sound to make it more fat. And the thing is, like, for example, when the ARP is going on, we are having the pop rave steps. Like, kind of too much of the melodies are overlapping itself. It's happening several times in the track. I will just, you know, when some sound came in, I will just not play the other one or just filter it heavily so they don't clash with each other. Because it's so hard to listen two different sounds making two different melodies. You see, like in this feel, for example. Like this breakdown, when the hi-hats come, I would just cut that part and just start with the kick part. Or even you can have just a low kick when these hi-hats come, because it's felt a little bit longer than it should. Yeah, I think this is kind of too hectic, like too much stuff going on. I would go a little bit minimal. Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow. Sometimes it's hard to follow. I will just make it a little bit simple and just try to boost all the low mids of your synths just a little bit, couple dBs. They feel a little bit weak in my opinion. Yeah, I think there's some work made to be this track, but overall the sound selection is nice. The kick and bass is amazing, bro. I love the kick and bass. It's so crispy. So maybe ear candies could be replaced or, you know, reordered. And second drop, I think it should be a little bit simple. That's my take on this track. Overall, it's very nice. So if this was my track, I would definitely just work it and finish it. Because when I hear the kick bass, it's like super quality. Thanks for the demo, bro. Let me jump to next one. When you send the track, make sure, if you don't even have a master, just make sure to boost it a little bit. Because it's kind of a little bit silent, I think. Is Can you guys hear it now? Is it lagging? Or is it fixed? Sound check, sound check, sound check. I don't get it why it happened. Yeah, but I'm glad we didn't disconnect. So I think the thing is the I was asking, is the key D sharp? Because yeah, maybe mine it's pretty much unusual, but yeah, shit happens, bro. This is Turkey. Turkey has unpredictable country. So yeah, is it D sharp or not? What's the key of this track? Because if it's D sharp, when I check it with span, I didn't see D sharp 1, you know? I didn't see the sub. I see you have a kick sitting in the F region, and then in the D sharp 2, is the key F. I think the key is D sharp. So the thing is, I cannot hear the sub. I hear the D sharp 2 in the bass. So it's might be okay because D sharp is pretty low, but I think it's kind of losing all the low energy. So just double check the bass. If you need, just layer a sub, a proper sub. Currently the kick is kind of too loud from the rest. And when the synth is playing in the middle, I think the sound was pretty sick, pretty interesting. This frequency like 1K, it's kind of missing, you know. The synth needs to be boosted. You need more high end. Can you see your kick is like way louder than the rest of the track? So just check it out, bro. Try to feel the missing frequencies on the synths. And also, I'm not sure about the loudness of the kick, but definitely you need louder bass. And when you put sub, it's gonna be fixed mostly, but still try to make your bass more punchy, you know, more hitting. Maybe you can change the preset, maybe you can layer a top bass. So this is your low end. The kick is extremely loud, and we don't see any bass near it, you know. So if the track is D sharp, we should see another hill in the D sharp 1, 39, 38 hertz, as the same loudness with the kick. You know, they should be equal, but currently we don't have a sub in the track. So D sharp 2 is kind of again too silent than the kick. So I would have louder bass. When you volume up the bass, it's gonna be fixed. Also, when you layer a sub, I think everything is gonna be perfect. So yeah, that's it, bro. Other than that, I think very nice. Like this is something unusual that you make. I like all the everything, you know, all the arrangement, all the sounds, especially the synth in the middle drop. It's like pretty unique, but you need to EQ correction. Yeah. So that's it, bro. Thanks for the track. Nice one. Very nice one. Let's go to UJ ID Mustards. This one is pretty sick. Yeah, ARP is too dry. Also too thin. Maybe boost some low end. Try to put it a little bit more reverb. Ryan, nice reminder, bro. Thanks. I'm gonna open a poll now. I think this melody also too dry and like the synth is maybe too, I don't know, too bright. Let me check the EQ of it. Yeah, like we got too much high mids, but I don't know. Maybe deep a little bit of here, boost a little bit of low mids. The bass maybe could be volumed up. I think this part, the synth itself is too dry. Also, I would just check the sample preset selection. Maybe you could find something more interesting. Maybe you need more automations. So just work with this sound. I think this sound is not fitting. Even the melody, I think we are not ready for this melody. It was kind of too sudden, just hit instantly. And then it's nothing to do with the first drop, nothing to do with the second drop. So it's like This part feels like it's from another track, you know, just check it out. Yeah, work on the layers, work on the sound, design. You could make this part better because I think the first drop sick, second drop sick, but the breakdown needs work. It's like too rushed, you know. Um, you put less effort to the breakdown than you put to the drop. You see, it's like too resonating. It's kind of unpleasant with the EQ. This sound needs to be fixed. Yeah, the second part is nice. Maybe in the ending, when the acid goes crazy, you can just lower a little bit of filter or just volume, because I think it's kind of too loud and like too much happening. So it's becoming too loud. So just try to compensate it with some, you know, filter automation or volume automation, and you are good to go. Very nice track, bro. Keep grinding. It's like, I like this production. I like this track. Nice one. Let's go to Go Wild. Freshly married, brother. I think very unique track, bro. Yeah, I hope you are still in the stream. I love this. I love the idea. Several things to mention, like all of them, I think, regarding to the mix down. So the break vocals was too loud. I scared, and everyone in the chat felt the same. Thank you, brothers. Matrix. Thanks for your support. Appreciate it. The breakdown vocals kind of too loud. Just try to lower it a little bit. Also, I think the bass of the vocals was too loud, so maybe you can dip a little bit of low mids from the bass. Maybe not the low cut, but just a dip, you know, with a bell. So it can it can feel better to the mix. And secondly, I think the first drop kick was lacking the low end. Maybe change the kick. Maybe find some, I don't know, more saturated kick with a little bit bigger low end. Or maybe just volume it up. I don't know. It's like not cutting through. You know, the bass is good in the first drop, but I think the kick needs to be boosted or, you know, EQ'd. Yeah, some processing on the kick is needed. The first drop was sick. The vibe was very nice, but I will just put a little bit of variation on the synths. Maybe some automation, maybe some extra synth layer. I don't know, you know, a counter melody in the end. Something like that. Yeah, the first drop kick was kind of too dry. You said acoustic kick. Yeah, you can still use acoustic kick, but maybe saturate it or maybe just, you know, low shaft, boost it a little bit. It would be nice. And also, yeah, we talk about first drop variations. In the second drop, I like what you are doing, but the kick is overkill. We can't hear the bass, so just try to balance them. If you check it with span, the second drop. So this is kick, and it's like way louder than the bass. So just lower the kick and maybe put them in the same loudness. Or maybe just volume up the bass. So some balancing is needed. Welcome, Yellow. Welcome to the stream, brother. Good to see you. And one more thing regarding, in the first drop, if you check the waveforms, you see so much peaks, right? Which means the track, the drums, the kick, the whatever you are having, most of the percussions, it's not clipped. So all of them has a different peaks, and this is a problem in the mastering limiter. If you check the second drop, it's more flat because of probably a kick you choose is already clipped, you know, already limited. But in the first drop, because of you are using more acoustic samples, it's like too much peaks, spikes. So just try to put a clipper on whatever the sound is and try to make it, you know, more flat. That's what I would do. Other than that, sick track, bro. So unique, I like it. Like the second drop, first drop, everything is so different and so unique. Keep doing whatever you do. I like your music.
Je le savais, je le savais, je le savais, je le savais, je le savais très bien, mais je ne sais plus rien. Pourquoi s'envoler? Alors que mais je ne sais plus rien. Je le savais, je le savais très bien, mais je ne sais plus rien. Pourquoi s'envoler? Alors que je ne sais plus rien. Je le savais, je le savais très bien, mais je ne sais plus rien. Pourquoi s'envoler? Alors que mais je ne sais plus rien. Je le savais, je le savais très bien,
like I like everything. Let me finish the track, but I think the kick is kind of overkill. I was checking that.
Mais je ne sais plus rien.
I think the vocals are very nice. Like it makes it so unique with this French lyrics. Maybe you need a little bit de-essing on the vocals. It's kind of too sharp on some certain frequencies. I'll fix that. Maybe volume up the vocals. The kick is too loud, bro. I think if you lower the kick a little bit, everything is gonna be so much better. Even like we can see that in the waveform, the peak spikes of the kick, but there's no bass is feeling it. Also, I think this track is in B minor, which is a very hard key to mix it because it's way too high or way too low in the bass. It's so hard. I think the bass, you make it very nice, you nailed the bass, but the kick is too loud. Like, that's the kick, you know, it hits like till ceiling. But if we check the sub, it's too silent. Like there are 7 dB, 8 decibel gap between the kick and sub. So yeah, just lower the kick a little bit. And I think most of the stuff is gonna be, yeah, fixed. Also, in the breakdown, I think it's too long without a bass, you know. You know, just it's too long without nothing remarkable happening. Just put a respace maybe, or maybe keep the bass rhythm grooving. Just put a groove there so people could still dancing when they listen the breakdown. And maybe I would put just a small reverb for the hi-hats. They are kind of too dry. Also this ba-ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, this ARP sound, just volume it up a little bit. Volume up the main ARP sound. Also feel these frequencies, you know. The mid frequencies are pretty much empty in the main melody. When you feel those frequencies, the melody will be just in your face. But currently, it's so pushed back off the mix, and it's barely, you know, properly hearable. I think that's it, bro. Very nice track. I liked it. I enjoyed it so much. Okay, let's go to the Ryan.
What's that thing called when you meet somebody and you feel like you're walking on a cloud? You know, I'm gonna have a good time tonight. I'm gonna go out and get into the mood.
All right, here we go.
That thing called when you meet somebody and you feel like you're walking on a cloud, and every step you made all your life, wrong or right, led you to this place right here, right now. You know, it's like when you were at work and you said to yourself, you know, I'm gonna have a good time tonight. I'm gonna go out and you get into the mood. There's no remedy, there's no pill you can pop to get rid of that rhythm, that thing that flows through your blood. And it's not gonna kill you, man. It'll only make you breathe a little harder and live a little longer. Man, what's that called when your heart starts beating faster and faster and your feet keeps moving and you know you should sit down but you can't because the DJ just started playing them. Don't outside those doors.
All right, here we go.
You know, I'm gonna have a good time. Don't. You know, I'm gonna have a good time.
Bro, like if you fix several mixing issues, in my opinion, you can sign it with a nice tech house label. I think it's so cool. The groove is very nice. And you know, like I don't know, tell me some tech house DJ, like what was the name of him? James Hype. Like I think he will play this track. It's so fitting to what he plays, you know. It's such a club friendly track. I like it. I think the kick is not cutting through in the, you know, click attack in the drop. So I will just make the kick maybe layer a top kick or maybe put some hi-hat, you know, make the click a little bit obvious. That's it. The kick and bass is nice. I wouldn't touch it. I like it. The main synth, the groove is nice. Like the melody is nice. The repeated continuous melody, I like it. What I will do is just putting a little bit high mids so the sound cut through, because currently the sound is just too flat, you know. And also you need automations for the sound. Release and decay automations, you know, maybe filter automations, something like that. It's gonna, because it's like always have just one continuous melody. And then, yeah, this was rushed. Yeah, just work on the detail, bro. It's too stable. The melodies just happen too repeated. So that's why you need to push it, put it a little bit automations to keep it interesting. If you do that, I think everything is nice. Besides that, the vocals, I think kind of too loud. Definitely need de-essing. It's too harsh in some syllabi. And then I will just deep a little bit 200, just a little bit on the vocals to deep, because it's kind of, you know, in the it sounds too bassy. Maybe lower the volume, lower the 200 hertz a little bit, de-ess the vocals, and that's it. The rest was perfect. The storytelling is nice. The drop melody is so cool. The groove is amazing.
You know, I'm gonna have a good time. Don't.
Dude, you nailed it, man. So nice. Congrats. I love this one. If I play Tech House, this is like, I will play it for six months in all of my shows. For sure. At least 6 months. Nice one. Yeah. Thanks for the demo, bro. Nice. Very nice one. like this is a very unique track. That's why I'm thinking how to give feedbacks, because technical side, I think it's good enough. The kick and bass is very nice. I like it. The first drop, there's like a groove synth. Maybe it could be more big. I think it's kind of thin currently. Yeah, the groove synth, I will just volume it up. Maybe the claps could be a little bit wet, kind of too dry in my opinion. Like a very dreamy, very blurry, very interesting breakdown. Yuja, yes, is there some off keys? I felt it too, but in time I get used to it. Please just help me on this, because I heard some. I was thinking like when the first drop hits, like in the intro, is it off key? And I said, oh, never mind, I think it's okay. And then I feel like it again. I think the vocal is kind of drifting in different keys. Maybe it's not off key, but off scale, you know. Maybe the track is in minor and the vocal is like major. Maybe something like that. Like it says that there we are losing the key. I felt it too. Thanks for mentioning. I was too scared to speak it loud. But I was like thinking, is something off key in here, or maybe it's not?
I wanna try to fade
I think like this melody is, maybe the vocal is major, but the track is minor. You know, maybe something like this. What do you think, guys? Yeah, I think when the vocal is slowly fading in the background, I feel like, something is off key. Yeah. Yeah, Matrix is right. Maybe you can just put it to Melodyne and fix whatever key is clashing with your music. I think you should fix this. Other than that, I think very nice track. It's hell of a unique. And the blurry breakdown, this dreamy vibe, I like it. Vocal is in major, everything is in Lydian. So honestly, I don't remember the Lydian and major. Let's check it out. So major, C major, we got this. And Lydian. Yeah, this one is different. So the fourth is changing. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. The fourth is different. Yeah, you can just fix it with Melodyne, or maybe you can fix it with Nifton. Yeah, that's stock. If you have the upper version of FL Studio, Nifton is also good enough. I used it all the time. So you just need to fix the F sharp and make it F, or yeah, the opposite way in the vocal. You can just fix it very easily. Nice one, bro. Thanks for the track. Let's go to Sparkle's track. way, you nailed it with this breakdown. It's amazing. It's amazing. Nice job. Nice job. So nice. I like it. First of all, the drops. Drops needs to rework. The drop synth, it's, you know, comparing to this breakdown, drop synth is too basic. Just try to find an interesting, you know, some sound that has some variation, that has some movement, some unique texture. You need some automations, you know. First, change the sound or tweak the sound or try to automate the sound. Try to make it more interesting. And secondly, you must do it. The melody is too repetitive. Like dun, 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 dun. This is happening, just this one bar happening like all the time through whole break, the whole drop. So what you need to change it, you know. You need to change the second part a little bit and the fourth part a little bit. So the melody could progress. Currently the melody is just playing the same thing over and over. So which is like not a good match with this amazing breakdown. So just fix the melody, fix the drop lead, and I think there's nothing to fix. Only the drop lead and the drop melody. So the sound-wise, drop lead is too loud. Also 300 Hz, it's too boosted. Yeah, this frequency. I wouldn't make it louder than my kick, you know. Just tame those frequencies a little bit. And change the melody. Try to come up with a melody, yeah, yeah, the second bar and the fourth bar of the melody. Just try to keep it, put some variations there. The melody itself has a nice bass, but it's just too repetitive all the time. If you fix that, this track is, bro, the breakdown is wow. So nice. All the layers, especially the bass, is so nice. So by the way, UJ, yes, totally, man, totally. Just like this. This is what I would do, just like this, to the drop lead. This will fix it. Something like this. But melody needs to be changed, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of basic melody. But the bass is nice. You can just tweak it and, you know, make some story with it. Tell some story with it. Nice.
Let me be clear, are you here? Wanna hold you in my dreams. Are you now keeping it real? Taking me low, taking me high, taking me home just once and fast. On it slow, on it fast, alright. All I wanna do is let myself right next to you. It's chemical, yeah. I don't need a few moments just to touch on you. Like all night long.
I think very nice track. Like all the arrangement is super fresh, super fast. Such a festival-friendly track, I can say that. The kick and bass is awesome already. It's very nice. I think the last part of the drop, it's kind of too empty, like too long without nothing special happening. What I will do is I will just put an arpeggiato in there. Something like that, you know, and you could have it through the breakdown as well, and that would connect the drop to the breakdown. Just the last part of the drop, introduce an arp. That's what I will do. I asked the vocals because vocals are kind of too wide. I wanted to have a little bit in your face, like in the middle of the track. So maybe you can just like slowly, a little bit blend the dry one behind this, you know. That would make the vocals a little bit mono. Then yeah, they could be more in your face. I will do that. And the second drop synths, just volume it up a little. I think you have a soft lead and a weird textured lead, like maybe 2 layers in second drop. So the weird layer, I would volume it up a little bit because it's so cool, but it could cut through more. You know, I like the sound itself very much. Bro, nice track. No negative feedbacks on my end. It's very nice. Yeah, just try to put an ARP. So ARP in the last part of the first drop, and also here before the outro. This part again, the ear candies are not feeling it fully. Yeah, ARP would be nice. 4 layers. So one of the layers are, I don't know, very unique. I will just volume it up, or maybe volume it up everything. That would nice. So you widen the vocals afterwards. Maybe you can remove it. Yeah, I think it's too wide. Everything was wide, so I was missing some mono information on the breakdown, especially. Nice track. Thanks, guys. Let's jump to Blazing Osis. Let's go. Nice one is the guitars from FS to the Slayer. It's been a while since I listened this type of old school big room. Nice one, bro. Thanks for sending this one. I like this, like, yeah, offbeat tones especially. I think the kick could be louder, like in overall. The bass was super fat. I like how it sounds. You nailed it, you know. The kick was, hold it because I wanted to see it. This is the kick, I think. It's like a kick, hits like 55 hertz, around that. So the bass is like squeezed till limits, but the kick was kind of lacking. The bass is lacking. No, the kick was lacking. Yeah, the kick was lacking. This was the bass. Just check the span in the low frequencies. This is the bass. It's extremely loud. So that's the bass. That's the bass. See how fat it is. Yeah, but the kick, we can't even see the kick because it's behind the bass currently. But the bass kick was a little bit silent, so I think we could have a little bit louder kick so it cuts through. I will also boost the click of the kick, so it could be again like the attack of the kick could be more clicky to again cut through. Other than that, I like it. Like the breakdown, I love it, bro. Like all the storytelling was top notch. I like the Avicii vibes, which is perfect. It's a very nice hybrid, like, yeah, it's a nice storytelling, I can. Nice. I think everything is well mixed, you know, nothing to criticize in my opinion. Also, the drop leads are super nice. So in the second part of drop, the twist of the melody, maybe it's too much. I wanted to hear something more simple. Maybe it's kind of too complicated. We are jumping from very simple melody to very complicated melody too fast. But I think that's just personal opinion. I think it's no right or wrong thing in here. I would prefer something simple, but yeah, just my opinion about it. The rest was amazing, so I won't do negative feedbacks on this one. I won't roast this. It's perfect. Thanks for sending this banger, bro. Nice one. Slay Legend The Dance ID Extended Mix version 0.1. Bro, don't be so hard on yourself. 0.1. Let's go. You know, it's like extremely loud. Maybe that's the crackling your earpods. It's too loud, and like I think all the overall arrangement and sound selection is pretty sick. I like the switch between the hardstyle part. It's very nice. I think mostly you need to work on the mixing, bro. The synths are pretty distorted on the high frequencies, and it's pretty harsh. And maybe it's too loud. You know, time to time it gets extremely loud. So maybe this sound, for example. EQ wise, what I will do? Let's check the kick and bass first. So for example, the kick and bass, we have tons of sub-frequencies. F1, I think F is the key, maybe. I'm not sure. Or A is the key. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, I will check the Metacama's members. Yeah, I will check your demo, bro. I will check it. So this, as you see, the kick and bass in the sub frequency, it's hell of a fat. But in the second octave, we don't have much of the bass. So first drop, you need to feel those frequencies a little bit. That's for sure. Let's check the second drop. I think this part is okay. This part is okay. Yeah, the first kick and bass is, I think, needs rework in here. If you're gonna do a rolling bass, you should have two side chains. One side chain could just sidechain the sub frequencies like a offbeat, and the second side chain, you know, you can put two kick starts and activate the band on the first one, and the second one can be go more lighter. Then kick and bass will be separated properly. I think this is what you need, and I feel like it's like everything is over pushed to the limiter. Maybe just try to do the master a little bit silent volume. You see, like we are hearing a little bit clipping and over compressing in here. So I'm also checking the chat. Okay, never mind. I also don't get it. Yeah, bro. Overall, very nice track. Just work on more mixing and try to volume up the vocals a little bit too. I think vocals are too pushed back to the mix. I barely understand what it's saying, but it's a promising track, but you need to mix it properly. Yeah, the synths are too harsh. First, you gotta fix this. Nice track overall. Promising track overall. What LUFS do you recommend aim during mastering? -6, just my sweet spot. Even I'm okay with -7, because if I go -5 or louder, it becomes extremely compressed. So -7 to 6 is what everyone is doing, actually. So let me just grab the Metacama's track because he's too boomer to post it on the members section. Okay, I'm also tired, but yeah, we got several demos to finish. Let's jump to Robert's track. Yeah, a fat hard techno guy. I think it's nice. I would expect some lyrics, some vocals, you know, some hook that would be better. Maybe in pre-drop, maybe just one in breakdown. That would be nice. I would include some vocals. The first part felt a little bit static to me, like I was expecting some variations or more ear candies. But again, I'm not listening this track, so I'm this style, this genre. That's why I don't know how to get feedback to the production side. The mixing side was, in my opinion, was very decent. I feel like the heads and the high frequencies kind of harsh. So what I will do is just put a high shelf and lower couple dBs the high frequencies, or maybe I don't know, with suit or something. These frequencies could be like 10K. This area could be a little bit smooth. I will just do that, and maybe I would boost a little bit mid frequencies. You know, a little bit of 600 to 1K. I like to have like more MIDI tracks, MIDI, like not MIDI, but yeah. Suit really good for it. Yes, suit will be fix the heads, because kind of heads are like too, I don't know, competitive with the kick, like too crisp, too loud. It could be softer. It could be blend better with the mix. Other than that, I think it's a sick track, bro. It's like a fast track, but just missing some hook, in my opinion. Some hook. The sounds are nice. The mix is already decent in a nice level. But I was searching for some, I don't know, some theme, something to remind me of No Mercy. You know, even just No Mercy, just one vocal shot. That would be put the track in awesome level. So nice one. God kids hopping around to it. Yeah, definitely. I'm curious what is gonna end up. You know, I like the idea actually, but mixing needs tons of work on this one. Yeah, the mixing definitely needs work. It's pretty hard to listen with louder volumes because everything is top of each other. I can't hear the kick because like the bass and all of the sounds top of them just like killing the kick of it. Definitely needs to go with the basics of mixing. Need sound selection too. So for example, this was already curious. If you see the waveform of the track, it's always full of the waveform. You know, there is no dynamic range on the track. It's not dynamic. It's always stable on the ceiling. You know, which means this something wrong with it. Something wrong with it. The track needs to breathe. You know, when the kick hits, everything needs to duck down. So try to make a better sidechain. Yeah, try to arrange the track. Have some sections. You cannot have all the time go full power, full crazy. Just check Robert's track, for example. It was hell of a loud and brutal track, right? With heavy kicks, heavy bass. But see how his waveform looking. When I see the waveform, I can see that, oh, this section is build up, the breakdown, this section is build up, this is drop, and there when he's going to outro, so this one is the first build up. I can see that just looking the waveform. But this waveform is not telling me anything because it's poorly mastered and poorly mixed. Like everything is pushed so like to the maximum. So first try to fix that. Try to go easy with the sounds. It's too clipping. Everything is clipping in the track. Just solo the kick and put the bass on it and mix them properly. Like put in a priority level, put every new element top of each other and make sure nothing is fighting with each other. That's how you start, you know, that's the vision to mix this type of like vision to mixing actually. So yeah, you can do that. Just try to start over for this. It's autopsy on a team regarding the pounding kicks. Nostalgia. I honestly I like the vibe. I like the melodies, but start with remixing the track from zero, and you will see. You know, you will get some understanding when you do that. And yeah, in the next stream, maybe you can bring me the updated version of this one. Thanks for sending this, bro. All the demos are welcome. We are just trying to learn and get better, right? So that's the point of the streams. Please don't get me wrong. I will be so sad. Yeah, let's go.
Beyond the realm of doubts and fears, the symphony of time appears. A journey guided by the moon and the starlit skies, a sacred tune. The symphony of time appears, a journey guided by the moon and the starlit skies, a sacred tune.
this fake drop got me, you know. I was just like this, and then there's nothing. It was still a pre-drop. I like this one, bro. Overall, the idea is very nice. The vocals need to be de-essed at 6K. Just do that. It's like too resonating. Let me check. Not very important now. The thing is, I like the vocals. When the breakdown comes, the vocals just put the vibe to something else. I like this. I also like the break ARP melody. It's nice. The sound selection is good. My problem is with the drops. I think the drop needs to be, especially drop needs to be mixed better, because like you have, I think, 3 different leads, the 3 different melody doing question and answer, call and response. And they are fighting with each other. They are not in harmony. Some of them is too loud, some of them is too silent. You know, try to arrange the loudness, the volumes, the mixing, especially for your drop synths. I think that's what it needs to be fixed. I'm also checking Yellow because this is his style. He also like the rest is good idea. It doesn't sound dynamic. The mixing needs to be better. I agree. The mixing needs to be better. Drop doesn't pump. Yes, maybe the kick bass. I think the balancing wise kick bass is nice, but the pumping is like the kick was kind of too loud and it's like too flat. For the pumping, you need a better sidechain. It's all little sidechain curves. Maybe you can volume up the bass a little bit. You can make the pumping. So the kick bass, kick and sub should be like offbeat, bouncy, bop, 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 you know, that kind of bouncy sidechain. And the upper frequencies of the bass, you can be more easy. That's okay. But if you want pumping, just go very hard sidechain and do an offbeat kick and bass. That's how you go with the pumping effect. Nice track, by the way. I like it. But little mixing details. This is what makes a track, you know, to the next level.
Visual experience. Visual experience.
Again, overall very nice track, bro. Yeah, you nailed it. It's a very, very like powerful drops, and I like the breakdown, especially the break melody. It's very nice, very catchy. What I will do for the break, in here you are slowly fading in the real synths, right? Maybe you could have some plugs in here that plays the melody. A plugs that gets open in the cutoff filter, you know, gets bigger. And the first time we would hear the actual leads in the climax part, which would make it like very surprising when we first hear it in here. But you were already like fading them in the actual break leads in here. That's why it was no surprise. Actually, it feels like some repeat. You know, I will use some plugs in here and then go with the real leads. Let's check what Yellow says, especially in the drop. Lots of love and hum. Agree. Needs correct frequency balance. First drop. Agreed. Ear candies, for sure. You're definitely missing them. Like break ambiances, break ear candies. You can feel this much. For the both of the drops, I feel like the high frequencies was kind of too harsh. What do you guys think about it? Is it only me, or maybe my ears are get tired now? I don't know, but it was too much high frequencies and it was pretty harsh in the highs. So I would just lower, try to tame it. Maybe you have so many stuff, all of them has some white noise top end. Maybe some of them put some high shelf, just reduce it a little bit. That's what I would do. Also, the drop lead, sorry. Starting from 600 Hz and below that we don't have this lead. That's why the kick and bass has a gap. So just use a rare type of EQ, or maybe, I don't know, try to feel those frequencies a little bit more. Because like it's sounding, we don't have low mids on the main melody. That's why I think the main melody was kind of separated from the kick and bass. That I would do to fix it. Yeah, bro, that's it. Maybe also the drop melodies could it be more complex, more, I don't know, more memorable, maybe. One more thing before I forget, the vocals was coming too instant, too sudden. Try to put some reverse reverb for the vocals, so we could be prepared. Something is coming, you know. But now the vocals are hitting hard and just vanishing instantly, so it's not making big impact on the track. Nice one, overall very nice one. Oh, super tired, guys. It's been 2 hours, but yeah, let's keep going. So very long intro. I'm gonna just skip it to the important parts. Overall the vibe is again very, very nice. It's such a flow, I like everything. The sound selection is nice. I think you need to work on the mixing mostly. I feel like the kick is kind of too loud, and the bass is not much hearable, especially this is the kick, and the second octave, like the bass is the frequencies that responsible for the term warm, warm bass, is not filled enough. So just volume up the bass, especially on 100 hertz to 200 hertz. That's frequencies. Just volume it up, and then maybe lower the kick a little bit, have a better balance between kick and bass. After you do that, try to check your drums, the hi-hats especially. I feel like they are kind of too crisp, so you can just fix it. Maybe volume up the vocals, and rest was very nice in my opinion. So there wasn't much memorable melodies, but I think the flow is very nice. This is not something I used to listen in terms of the genre. That's why I don't know what to say about regarding the arrangement and stuff, but mixing could be better. Like, it's in the little details, but mostly if you fix the kick and bass, everything is gonna be so much better in my opinion. Yeah, nice track, bro. Thanks for sending this. I really, really enjoyed it while listening. The flow is very nice. Yellow says Luna from Ukraine with the love. Best wishes to Ukraine, bro. I so missed her. I've been on the once in Ukraine, and I love this country. Okay, last track from Mete Kemal. It's been 2 hours, I gotta go soon. Baby is waiting.
Then I got paid. Shit, I can't wait. So please, you gotta believe me. Shit, I can't wait. Mixing and rep, and then I got paid. Shit, I can't wait. Please, you gotta believe me. then I got paid.
I think the idea is kind of draft. The sounds are needs a little bit work. I love the vocal. The vibe is very nice, but first of all, like this is like an electro house, right? Mostly feels like an electro house track, a little bit techy vibes. So I wouldn't go for a big room bass. You know, it's like boo boo, too stable. Just go with a groovy bass, maybe a rolling bass, maybe some trancey bass. So some bass has some groove, rather than just the big room style of bass. First, I would just do that. When the low end is changing, all the vibe, all the track is gonna change. I love the vocals, I love the arrangement, everything sounds super cool. But the kick and bass is not there yet, in my opinion. Secondly, the main arp of the track, it's maybe a little bit too distorted. I think the sound itself is good, but maybe it could stand out more. This is how the drop looks like. It's so flat, right? So the sounds are not stand out, not have a proper character. So I will just go with some more automations or maybe some sound design and try to keep it especially more clean. The ARP should be more clean. Also in the drop when everything is playing, so make sure to have at least have same height as the low frequencies, as the high frequencies, they should be equal. So maybe, yeah, the track is too flat. I will just try to color it better. And lastly, bro, second drop doesn't feel like a drop. It feels like an outro.
Shit, I can't wait.
Let's see why. Probably because of the sound you put doesn't have any mids, you know. It just have low mids, but high mids are totally missing. Probably because of that. And secondly, the build-up was too fast, too rushed. So maybe after you're finishing the build-up, just have a gap and start this this bassy sound, and then do a pre-drop feel and just go with the drop. It would be nice. So wait, is it better drops looks like that? It lacks character, that I can say. Just check it out. So if a drop looks like that, the high frequencies are barely catching up with the drop. This is the like loudest part, most crowded part of the drop. The high frequencies should be more for having more energy. And for example, we don't have much peaks on the track. We need some peaks, you know, that gives some character to the track. If it's too flat, which means that the sounds are not stand out. It's just an average, you know. You need some sounds to stand out. But of course, you need to feel the frequencies like this without gaps. That's for sure. If what's that you're asking. So regarding to this track, the second build up, if you make a better build up and a long pre-drop, this I think second drop could work. But currently we are just jumping to the second drop, and because the sound doesn't have much high mid frequencies, it feels like an outro. So we still didn't hear what comes next in the drop, right? You still didn't tease it in the build-up.
Shit, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's like it needs a little bit EQ boost on the highs and work on the build-up too. So hi for welcome, bro. Yeah, this month I start a little bit earlier because I have some things to do. Like washing the baby, putting him to sleep. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna end the stream, guys. It's been 2 hours. Kind of tired. So soon in the label, by the way, I'm gonna announce something huge. There have been some good updates regarding the label. So yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. I just like to announce it soon when it's time. Other than that, yeah, I'm not producing much, to be honest, but I'm gonna try to release some huge track in September. and in beginning of October. And end of October, we will have a collab with Castro and Pollux on Generation Smash. And other than that, I don't have any lined up tracks, to be honest. Probably 2 more tracks in this year. Then I will close the year, not gonna release anything. So starting from the January, I have some stuff. We will see. We will see. But yeah, currently, like the baby is like 2.5 months, and it's impossible to produce, because like 99% of my time is trying to take care of him. But things are getting easier in time. So yeah, it takes time, guys. I so miss to produce, but I currently have another quest, just rising my boy. It's hell of a different thing to mention. The baby's name is Aybars. Means leopard of the moon, like a moon cat, yeah. Because I have a cat called Luna too. Luna means eye, moon. Eye means moon in Turkish. The next feedback stream in 4 months. Yeah, it's once in a month. So in the middle of the month, I have Lunatic Radio, and end of the month, I have feedback stream. So if you guys have any demo to do radio, I'm writing my mail address. And if you have any demo to the label, that's the label demo drop email. So radio is always the midweek, the second week, middle of the month. Yeah. It's been 8 episodes, I think. Oh, it's been 8 months, yeah. So for the episode 9 in 2 weeks, just post me your music, guys. Just send me your music. So if you haven't, please like this stream. It's like helpful for the algorithm, because YouTube algorithm is a bitch, guys. I only accept main stage, techno, big room techno, that kind of stuff. Not even just big room. It should be more like a main stage vibes, maybe. Even a little bit hard techno is okay, but not as hard as Robert's style. So if you check the previous releases, check the Yellow Punks release. It's a good example of what I'm searching for the label. Yeah, I'm always checking the spam, no worries. Thanks, Mete. Yeah, I appreciate it if I helpful, if my feedbacks are useful. So guys, yeah, let's talk in Discord. I'm not able to come to Discord most often recently, but if you have any questions, just write me on Instagram. I will try always to check. So good stream, guys. No shrams, bro. No shrams for the label. It was a good stream. Thanks for supporting my work and being in here. So see you soon, guys. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.